Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon. The telephone numbers to call if you want to join in on the conversation today are 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, or WhatsApp 801-0271, 801-0271, and you can both call and text us on WhatsApp. And we're also streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM Facebook page. Also streaming live on YouTube on the official Global 99.5 FM and Michelle Malcolm channels. And you can catch us on Cable Bahamas channel 974. So go ahead and like and share the show if you're on Facebook. Let everybody know that GPS is on the air. And obviously, we're going to be talking about an issue today that is very emotive and some would say divisive. And no matter what side of the discussion you land on, you have to agree that this is something that is garnering national attention that we have to discuss. I have with me today someone who fits the bill perfectly for this show, because not only is he a lawyer, but he's also someone who is formally responsible for immigration affairs in the country. And that places him in perfect position to talk about what we're going to be talking about today, because we are going to be looking at the legal implications of all of these appeals and court rulings as it relates to shanty towns in the Bahamas. I'm talking about none other than Branville McCartney. Bram, welcome back to GPS.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you and your listening audience.
Have you? Now, every Monday we do a show called Masterclass Monday, where we deal with the Constitution of the Bahamas. Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson is the person who leads us through that show every Monday. And he said something yesterday on the show that I was like, what? He actually said that whereas the courts can make any ruling they want to make, in essence, the court's ruling is pretty much just the interpretation of that particular sitting judge or magistrate of what the law states. That's their interpretation of the law. And that, in essence, what he was saying was that the government does not have to abide by what the courts say, because the courts cannot dictate to government what it does or does not do as it relates to the laws of the Bahamas. And particularly, he was speaking about constitutional law. And I say, man, Professor, you can cause plenty problems up in here today. Because for years, the government has been saying it cannot act on this shantytown issue because of the court injunction that prohibited them from moving forward. And now we see where Fred Smith has come, along with Calendars and Co., representing residents of the shantytowns who are now arguing that the lifting of the injunction was within itself illegal. So I am like, what do you mean the government doesn't have to follow what the court says? You can't be serious. And he's like, no, it doesn't. So, Bran, you're the perfect man to talk about this because you're a lawyer, but you also are responsible for immigration. Bring some clarity here, please, because he caused me to leave here with a headache yesterday. Not literally. But I said to Professor Bad, you caused plenty problems. You hear what you just say? And he stood by that position.
He's a professor.
Huh?
What is he a professor of, if you don't mind?
Constitutional law.
Boy.
So
I don't actually said that in, but a court order is not only an interpretation. When he speaks about an interpretation, that's a court ruling.
right.
Court order is the court directing certain things to. In this particular case, with the shantytowns, a court orders the government to demolish the shantytown or to stop demolishing the shantytown. That's not an interpretation. That is a direction from the court, an order from the court. The interpretation from the court would be a ruling where the court says, I have made an order for demolition of the shantytowns because of blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Now, the good professor of constitutional law, I don't know where he gets that interpretation from. But
So there's a big difference between a ruling and a court order, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's an interpretation between a ruling. A ruling basically says, this is how I've come to a conclusion by the court.
Okay.
These are the facts relative to the case and the laws applied to the case. An order is a direction from the court saying, do this, do that, stop this, stop that. And that's the difference there. A
So
court can direct. There's nobody above the law.
right.
Nobody above the law. We're saying this today with regards to Donald Trump, who's being presently, as we speak,
Indicted.
That's right, being indicted. Well, they arrested him today, and now they're putting him before the court to answer whether he is guilty or innocent regarding the charges. But there's no one above the law. That applies in the Bahamas, and the laws are and carried and interpreted, and by way of a judge indicating its position, and its position can be interpreted by the court giving orders relative to those particular facts, and that those orders can be made against government, against prime minister, against anybody.
So he used as an example of the point he was trying to make some case from some years back with regard to a gentleman, I think by the name of Darcy Ryan, who had gone all the way to the Privy Council in an effort to try to get citizenship in the Bahamas. I don't know the details because I don't remember the case. And apparently the Privy Council ruled on his behalf, but the government still say he ain't getting it. Are you familiar with that case?
Yeah, well, Well, the government, look, the court can make certain rulings or certain orders um, towards a company, a government entity. Whether that individual company or government entity carries it out is a different story. Their recourse or redress for that, in terms of there being contempt of court and that sort of thing. But whether they carry it out is a different story. There's certain things. I'll give an example. Just a simple matter. If the court rules you have judgment against a person for owing you money. So if someone owes me money, I go to court, I prove it, and the court says, okay, you get an order for judgment, and they ought to pay you the money. Now, if the person doesn't pay, although the court says you must pay, then I must take other steps to enforce that judgment, to enforce the judgment of the court or the order of the court for him to pay. And there are certain procedures and steps that you could take that way. Just like if the government did not carry out the court order in the Darcy Ryan case, then the other side could have taken out certain proceedings. But sorry about that, for the enforcement of the order.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So as it relates to this case of the shantytown demolitions,
Right.
We all know the history. The Free National Movement Administration, the Minnis administration, had begun the demolition of shantytowns. They were prohibited from moving further with a ruling by Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson, who
Yes.
determined that she wanted to review the case before she made a determination as to whether or not they had the legal rights to do so.
Right.
It took for almost 5 years to make that determination.
Right.
And she finally made the determination that the government does in fact have rights to do what it was doing. Now, in the meantime, even though that order said there should be no further building, clearly the persons who are responsible for the explosion of shanty towns, they were in contempt of court because they clearly didn't hear the part about, no, you can't continue to build, because it exploded, particularly the shanty town in Abaco, by 4 times the size it was.
Yeah.
When she handed down the ruling. Now, the government decided they're going to follow, like you said, they're above the law. Okay, so they follow in the court order. But the rest of them wasn't following no court order.
Right.
So now this thing blows up even bigger. She finally gives the ruling to say the government is within its rights to tear this thing down. And now you got Fred Smith and Calendars and Co. coming up saying, well, we take issue with that ruling because that is unlawful. Now, I don't know how the law go, because I know lawyer, right? And you could help me out with this.
Yeah.
But if I break the law to begin with, I mean, I know you all, as lawyers, you're all in business to make money. I get that. And I get the point that everybody is entitled to representation. You know, fine. But if I break the law to begin with, how you could come and argue that the government tearing down something that I built legally is illegal? Help me, Bron, because these people, I trying to figure out to be in the twilight zone. Like I wait for Rod Serling to show up any second with his tight upper lip and say, this is the twilight zone, because this can't be a real place.
What a mockery, eh?
Help me. Don't speak right now as a former immigration officer. Speak right now as a lawyer for me to help us understand what's going on here, because this ain't making no sense to me. And
Well,
now I have no legal mind, so maybe you could help me.
I can
I'm
tell
the
you.
audience.
I will tell you. First and foremost, persons bringing the claim for a stay of the demolition The question is whether or not they have legal. They're here legally. If you're not here legally, you cannot bring a claim in court. First thing, if you're not here legally, now I don't know who are the individuals, but if you're not here legally, you don't have a right to bring any type of claim or ask court for any type of relief. You don't have local standi, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, this matter indeed involves an injunction, more or less, and it comes under the area of the law that's known as equity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The application that's before the court now is basically to appeal the order that the government can demolish the shanty towns. Well, the order before that indicated that all matters ought to have been stayed until the good judge was able to make a determination as to whether Cheryl Grant Thompson was able to, whether the government ought to have a right to demolish the shanty towns or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
During that period of time, and the court had indicated that nobody move, nobody gets hurt until she makes a decision. Right?
Right.
Notwithstanding that, the persons went about and built up a bunch of communities.
Mm-hmm.
So they did not act in good faith on the court with the court direction. So how now can they come to court under equity and say that the order that court made, or they can appeal that court order, right? When they're not coming with clean hands. If you're coming to equity, you must come with clean hands. And they didn't come with clean hands. I believe this application being made is really a waste of time. I don't see where there's been a stay of the order of Cheryl Grant Thompson that indicated that the court can demolish the shanty towns. So therefore, until there's a stay by the court, or in other words, the court says, look, don't do anything until we hear the appeal, the government has every right in the world to deal with the shanty towns.
Mm.
And if I were the government, I would have had them demolished shortly after the judgment. 5 years later. Now listen to that foolishness, eh? 5 years later to make a decision. 5 years later to make a decision of national importance. I would have come out right away and I would deal with it. And I'm not too sure, but I don't think there's a stay, as I've indicated. And if there's not a stay, the government can go ahead until the court makes some other decision, because the ruling and the order that's in place now is the order to demolish. There's an appeal, but if there's not a stay for that appeal, the government can carry out that order to demolish. And that's what I would do. But you know what? This government ain't gonna do it. You know why? They don't want to do it. They don't have the political will. It's not politically expedient for them to do it. Period. You can't tell me anything otherwise. They don't want to do it. Because if they wanted to do it, and if there's not a stay, they got all these good lawyers in that party, they can act, and they can act swiftly. Just how they go and build all those houses after Dorian, you can knock them down just as quick. Knock them down. And by the time it comes for an appeal, there'll be nothing there'll be nothing to appeal. Period.
So what you're trying to say, Brian, is that this whole thing of we now have to wait to see what happens with the appeal is really just an excuse to not act because of political expediency. That's what you're trying to say.
I am not sure. I'm not sure if they have, as I said, an order
right
to stay the order given by Cheryl Grant Thompson, which means to not move on it. I don't know. But if they don't have that order for stay by Fred Smith and company filing a notice of appeal, that don't stay, or that don't stop the show. That don't stop the show. And if there's not a stay, and if I were the government, and if I had the political will to deal with it, by the time they got to the appeal hearing, there'll be nothing to appeal. It would have been done, finished, over, kaput.
Wow.
But it won't happen. You know why? It's not politically expedient for them to do it. To the detriment of our country. You see some foolishness, eh? My God.
Wow.
Telling you.
Unbelievable. Is that a call for the show? No? Okay, we got to take a break. Branville, the headache that started yesterday, you just made worse.
I'm
We're gonna, I'm only kidding.
You know, the problem is...
We have to take a break, Brand. The man playing the music, you try and tell me something. We have to take this break.
Okay.
But boy, anyhow, we'll be back after these words from our sponsors. This is GPS. Stay with us.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rim, fix, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, all-terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients. So so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
Make sure you visit Tiki Bikini Hut on Junkanoo Beach. Let them know that you are a listener of GPS, and you're going to get a nice discount off of your meal there. It's a great place, great food, great atmosphere, and a supportive sponsor of GPS. So make sure you go and give them your support as well. The telephone numbers to call 3260271. 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, the WhatsApp line for text messages and calls, 8010271, 8010271. We're streaming live on Facebook, on the official Michelle Malcolm Facebook page, and the official Global 99.5 FM page. We're also streaming on YouTube, the Global 99.5 FM and Michelle Malcolm channels, and you can catch us on Cable Bahamas channel 974. My guest today is attorney and former Junior Minister of Immigration, Branville McCartney, who under the Ingram administration was responsible for immigration affairs in the country. And I thought it would be good to have Brad on the show today because he could shed light both from a immigration perspective and from a legal perspective. We have two callers on the line? Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Lady Malcolm. How are you?
How are you? I'm good.
I am wonderful. And good afternoon to my former leader, Branville, Attorney McCartney.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
You know, I still mad with you, right?
Listen, don't be eating up my time with your personal conversation here. Get to the question.
I will ask him, tell him we have a position as Attorney General for him in the COI. I won't know if he wants to on national radio.
Listen. You're not going to use GPS time to talk politics. You ain't going to do
that. Okay. Bradwell, both of you all are saying it correct, right? And Lady Malcolm, you ain't kind of ready. You must get it for something else because how in the world you could come to somewhere illegal, right? Or a place illegal like the Bahamas. First of all, like Bradwell say, you don't even exist. So now how you could come from non-existence into our court asking for all the rights to build a house and the rights to get a license and the rights to get a passport and all that right. The only rights you can have in a country like that is basic human rights that you didn't get, catch food, water, somewhere to stay until we deport you back where you come from. They're the only basic rights you're entitled to. All the rest of the stuff, and what Fred is doing now, he's trying to save his own tail. Because he's going to take some of them people's money, them agents' money, or promise those people he can get them through manipulating the system. And he knows he ain't right. That's why he's starting to lose his cases. But he's scared of them people, what he represents, because he knows what they just do. You understand me? That's why he tried everything, because this last thing really ain't make almost give me a headache, Lady Malcolm. You understand? Because this ain't making no sense.
Whatsoever.
Not no sense whatsoever, but we got to watch Fred. And I would say this. Fred is promoting anarchy, strife, and division among this population. What he needs to be given is something called persona non grata and get the hell away from this town. Thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thanks for calling. Brown, I don't know if you want to respond or should we just go on to the next caller?
I don't know if there's anything to respond to.
All right, let's go to the next caller. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon to you and your guests.
As to you.
Who shall we look for to help fix this country, Ms. Malcolm? Because this country is where we're going, and this is a serious problem with the shantytown. But I believe right now, today, there's three women named I got who I believe could run this country. We try all the man them, and ain't none wake up. You, Miss Butler, and Miss Hannah.
Don't put me in that.
Yeah, you could be some kind of help, because the way I see you handle yourself, you could be in some kind of help. We tried a man, now we can try the woman them. We need somebody to take over and run this country, because no one could tell me in this little country, we pass these shantytown up and down, and nobody could say, well, what all these little places going up, and nobody stopped them. But if I would have started a little wall in the front of my yard before sunset this evening, you'll see building control man come with his paper in his hand to ask me what this is I doing. And you can tell me, any lawyer try to stand this thing from coming down and stuff like that. What if their house was close to these shantytown and stuff like that? How do these people feel for this country? They need to do what they have to do, because there's no way they can keep on saying with closing their eyes and worry about it. Oh, we ain't gonna do it now. We ain't get them no timeline. We need to get these little shantytown down, Miss Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for calling. Okay, Brand, you remember February, the Prime Minister did a national address. And in that national address, he pledged to take decisive action on shantytowns, saying prosecutions will be made where seen fit on the issue. And he went on to talk about Operation Secure, the collaborative security operation between the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Defense Force, the Department of Immigration, and that we are going to see all of this action. The operation is focused on identifying irregular migrants, documented migrants, the Bahamians living in these communities, and addressing their status in a comprehensive and coordinated manner. That's what he said back in February. Now, in recent times, Desmond Bannister, who also had some responsibility for immigration issues, his argument is that had the Progressive Liberal Party continued with the plan that was already left in place by the Free National Movement, it would not have been allowed to get out of control to the degree that it has since that ruling. Let me go ahead and play that clip, and then we're going to talk about that aspect of the conversation.
Okay.
As government moves to demolish shantytown structures, former F&M Cabinet Minister Desmond Bannister is calling the shantytown issue concerning, adding it didn't have to be this way because a mechanism was left in place.
The police and the defense force were involved, and they did regular walkthroughs. The police had plans to put a mobile station there. We closed off all the roads because they were illegal roads. And the defense force at one stage were doing 24-hour duties because we had confiscated so many generators. People were actually trying to steal those generators back.
Following Hurricane Dorian, the former government cleared the land once known as the Mud, the Pigeon Pea and Sandbanks in Abaco. But it's a different cry from Immigration Minister Keith Bell, who last year placed the shocking growth of an Abaco shantytown at the feet of the former administration.
As I indicated and tried to speak as a statesman, I've heard many statements made publicly that are untrue, and that statement is untrue. Basically, the only structures that were left in that area in the farm were the structures that were there before Dorian. We destroyed everything.
Now it seems the shantytown issue is creating another problem, housing. To that, Bannister made this suggestion to the government.
We were seeking to reform immigration so that if someone got a work permit for someone else, they had to ensure that they lived in some decent conditions.
Back in February, the injunction blocking the demolition of shantytowns was lifted. Since then, eviction notices were distributed and government is now moving to demolish structures as a group files an appeal.
And I expect that the next move will be an application to stay proceedings until such time as the court proceeding, the appeal is heard.
All right, you heard him. That they will probably wait for a stay, which is more time, until this appeal is heard. More time. Meanwhile, the building of these shanty towns will continue because clearly them people don't, either they can't hear or they just don't care, whatever it is. But the building, according to Kai Mills, who I've been trying to get to join us on the show, Kai tell me say,
Last time.
Kai tell me say the last time he was on the show with you, he get locked up. And he don't feel like getting locked up again today. So I don't know if he's going to show up or not. But according to him, there's something like 40 more foundations that have been laid in recent days. So this ain't slowing down.
No.
They ain't checking for no court order.
Yeah.
They continuing to build. And if what you're saying is correct in terms of there not being a political will to do it, so they're using this as an excuse, which I pray to God you're wrong, because that is very concerning. Where does that leave us?
But look at the facts now. I spoke about the fact that the filing of the notice of appeal doesn't necessarily mean that the matter has been stayed, unless there has been an application to stay the demolition of the shanty towns.
Right.
Desmond Bannister just mentioned that he suspects that an application will be made to stay. So I assume I've been off the island for a couple of weeks, but
right.
Whether or not that type of application has been made, I don't think it has, because I'm sure it would have been publicized. So the order of Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson is in play until it's stayed. If the really wanted to deal with these shanty towns, now is the time to do it. Why wait for them to apply for a stay? Now is the time to do it. This is a mockery, man. This is a joke. If I were advising the government, I would say go ahead and demolish the shanty towns. Notwithstanding, there's a notice of appeal. That doesn't act as a stay.
But they say they can't do that, Brian, because they have to find places for these people to stay.
Isn't that enough?
The people who aren't here illegally, they say, the Bahamians who live in these shanty towns,
they got them to stay. Really?
I just,
really? Again,
I just ask you to help me make it make sense, because
credence to what about the tenant that can't pay his or her rent?
Mm-hmm.
He's getting kicked out by the landlord. Is the government going to look for some place for them to stay? Let's stop this foolishness. Let's stop the foolishness. It's an excuse. And that's why I go back to the fact that they really don't want to do it. They don't have the political will to do it, and it's perhaps not politically expedient for them to do it. Most of the people, I think, live in those shanty towns are illegals in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And those who are there legally, they've been given notice a long time ago. They're there illegally. They may be here legally, but they're there illegally.
In the community, right? Illegally, right.
And now the government turns around and say, well, they're here. Listen how stupid it sounds. They're here legally, but the structure is illegal. So we're going to wait to house them before we demolish them. That's foolishness. That's foolishness.
So you're not buying into the argument that you'll create one crisis by trying to deal with another crisis. That solving this crisis will lead to another crisis of homelessness. You're not buying into that.
No. Not at all. Because if it's not that excuse, there's going to be some other excuse. Listen, there's been a shantytown problem since I was the minister back in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, we had about 36 shantytowns alone in New Providence, right? And back then, they didn't have the political will to deal with it. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have the political will to deal with it. Going back to Roka's time, Mr. Roka, Loftus Roka, saw the problem coming. And at that time, his government didn't have the political will to deal with it. What make you believe this government have any political will to deal with this situation now? That's bull. That's certainly not the case. And I honestly believe that. Look here, the Prime Minister is a smart lawyer, right? Brave Davis is a smart lawyer. He knows the filing of a notice of appeal does not stay the proceedings. You want to get these shantytowns demolished? Demolish them. Let's stop playing around.
This reminds me of when I used to work at a resort in Bimini, and there was some kind of dispute over the rights to a beach club, and an agreement that had been made between the developer of not the company I was working for, but their construction partner that owned another part of the another development on the island. There was a dispute between that entity and the person that had been supposedly granted permission to create a beach club before the company that I worked for came into the picture. And then when the company that I worked for came into the picture, the original landowners decided to go with the company I worked for. Obviously, it's a big international company, as opposed to honoring the alleged agreement that they had made with this private developer. Very similar to the situation going on now with Toby Smith. And so it went before the courts, and similar thing happened. The gentleman, I believe, lost round one. And while he was preparing to go to appeal for round two, he left his beach club, let's say today is Tuesday, and went to go see his lawyers or whatever. And when he come back on the beach Wednesday, he almost left. Takes head on the whole thing Tuesday night while everybody was sleeping, 3 o'clock in the morning. Show up on the beach Wednesday, beach club gone. They wasn't waiting around for nothing.
Right.
Now, you may argue that. I mean, I think at the end of the day, the gentleman eventually won the case.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, his beach club is gone. Win, lose, or draw.
Absolutely.
Because that developer was determined that they were going to honor the agreement that they had made with the company I was working for.
Right.
and dog eat his lunch.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's the right approach, but that's what they did. 3 o'clock in the morning while everybody was sleeping, that bulldozer was waking. We wake up the next morning, beach clean. So what you're saying is, if the government was serious, they would have done start demolishing. Now, Kai has decided to risk arrest.
They would have started, and they would be absolutely within their, because that is what the court had ordered, and there's nothing at this stage to stay it or to appeal it.
Right.
They would have demolished those things a long time ago. They don't want to do it.
Wow. Kai, welcome back to the show. Make sure you stay in the house down and close all the curtains so the police can't know you're home.
There's a lucky.
I got my machete. I got my machete right here. Like Haitian, I got my Haitian machete right here next to me. Well, Brown, it's good to see you. I lost my voice a little bit. I talk so much, I lose my voice. But I remember those good days when you were my most famous member of parliament, when you were the Minister of Immigration.
Yes, sir.
Boy, it was downtown everywhere. Them Haitian was collecting Haitian until you would decide to get involved. But I was so proud of you as a Bahamian back then. I'm still proud of you, what you've accomplished politically. And you would have been a great prime minister if it wasn't for jealousy. Jealousy within your party that stopped you from becoming the prime minister that we wanted at the time and we still need at this time.
What's with all y'all trying to come here talk politics on this show today? First calling now you. What y'all dealing with?
we talking immigration.
We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, how you doing, Michelle?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. And to your guests. I want to ask, do you realize every time when we listen to the immigration minister, he talks about we as a country of law and order, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make this dead clear. There's two messages, and I talking about on the crime side because I live in the surroundings of all that. And I can tell you the language that on this side of the field, how we feel because what we see was being said and how it just sounds like politics. Because on one end, I can't get a job based on what's going on. On the other hand, I can't get nothing like to say to go build this and that. And I watch you all tear us down and you all talking to gangsters. You all, people call us lazy, this and that and that. Then on another hand, when you watch the government, we watch as they protecting crime. They protecting crime. And there's one thing which you all gotta realize, the people who live in the bubble, there's a different type of thing going on the streets where you got these so-called new Bahamians, what got this slash between the names, what called Haitian Bahamians against, now they call them, paper Bahamians against real Bahamians. I want you all, if Mr. Brad McKinney, if that's his name, if he can confirm this or not, look at who getting hauled behind the courts. Even though they saying they Bahamians, check the last name. And y'all in the bubble because y'all ain't see the weight y'all putting on the 25 years old. Y'all might be laughing and stuff, but it's dead serious. They protecting lawbreakers, people who inside them villages and stuff, because I feel once you on a land, it ain't yours. Why the police ain't in there? I'm just saying, when you talking to a gangster, gun toting and things like that, they got to take these things serious. Ain't nobody smiling around here. Nobody smiling down here. Take it serious because don't tell me I can't do this and you protecting law. But why you meet with Haitians in private? Everybody to the streets know that code. That's like if I call a G code and people who out of the bubble know what I'm talking about. That's if I call a meeting against this one and that one and that one. We preparing something. I don't care how they look at it. Please take it serious. And I talking from on the other side. Why are police never, the people would build a house illegally, the person was in charge of housing. How come he ain't in there? Where the police? How come they ain't in there? Where the immigration? How come they in there? And just like how the attitude was when they roll over the dorms in Abaco, that don't care attitude. You understand what I'm trying to say? If you protect wrong, ain't nothing right can come out of that. And I can leave you on this. That's why I say y'all in a bubble. It's cool what you doing, but you still missing the point. We have threats being made on the other side from these people. You all ain't seeing that 25 and 26-year-old people like us. You all don't understand it. So I appreciate what Mr. Brad, I know his name, sorry, but that's
Branville McCartney.
Bradley, McCartney. I little tongue up, but if he's a lawyer, sir, for my future, I telling you, and I don't care about whatever going on and how pray it's on, do something. That's all I saying. Go to court and do something. You know what is right. because you cannot tell the younger generation, all y'all people who are over 40, y'all keep saying, oh, political will, whatever that is, y'all still protecting wrong. Do something, because y'all keep saying, oh, you don't want the Bahamas to become that and becoming this. It then Warren, I don't think you all feel that. And we ain't outnumbered when it comes to the people yet, you know. We outnumbered when it comes to them guns. I leave you all on that.
Wow.
Well, that's my cue there, Michelle. He said something that is close to home. He mentioned how the government had all the police. I got thrown across the street. They immediately broke the domes down in Spring City. Nothing is there yet. They ain't gone to no court to throw Bahamians out the domes. They didn't care where they were going. Didn't ask where they were going. You had to get out today. They brought a bulldozer. Everybody in the dome were Bahamian with my color passport. Woman had children, brand new babies. You had to get out today. Forget all that warning stuff. The bulldozer was there. Everybody was moved out. Bahamians lost their passport in the dome. They didn't allow them to even get their passport. But now we got to do all this pageantry, a meeting with this one, meeting with that one. The same law should apply. The young man said something else that is very interesting. He must be at the court at Mashaba, because during COVID-19, there were 30, 40, 100 Haitians breaking the COVID law, but the police didn't lock up one of those Haitians. They would go into structures that people were having a social, locked in, and the police would broke in the place and put them before the court. All Bahamians during COVID-19. So this brother just brought something home that's unbelievable. And they made sure that Bahamians get a record. So if all the young Bahamians, like he said, is going before the courts and being found guilty. I have been before the courts and Marshab under the same magistrate with Haitians that threatened to kill Kai Mills with witness. You know what they did? They put them in the court and gave them absolute discharge. All you have to do is go do 3 months of community service for threatening to kill Kai Mills on the public dock, because I dare take a video of them thieving and stealing what was left after Hurricane Dorian and putting on 2 100-foot boats. The fellas come up to me with witness there. I'm going to kill you for recording Haitian things. I went, did the right thing, went before the court. The first appearance, this guy, you get absolute discharge, just do 3 months of community service. Bahamians would be hauled before the courts. You can't get no worse than that. And so many young Abaconians, I remember the COVID thing, we're being hauled before the courts. When the Haitian come before the courts, it's like they have a different law for them. Release them, let them go. It is hurtful to see that 500 Haitians has built houses in this country with bathroom, everything. And I keep doing a video, Michelle, that you see that the government haven't built 1 bathroom for the tourists on Green Turkey Dock, but the Haitians have already built 500 structures with 500 bathrooms. Nothing has been done for Abaconians, nor for the tourists. We are in trouble when you see the boat going to Baker's Bay and you have 500 people on the boat, 400 is Haitians, and they use the same excuse that the young man say, that the Bahamian young fellas are lazy. They're lazy because they're not gonna work for $150 to $300 a week. They are hosting our youths and depending on foreign labor, and it's hurting the young people, and we cannot grow in this country, in this town. Michelle, you know how I feel? When Kai see that Haitians that came here on the boat is well off monetary-wise than Kai Mills, because they're not watching Kai, Kai is not gonna give no bribe. The Haitian is paying our officials to criminalize themselves and to do crime against us. I see at the road traffic, the Haitian would come out and pay the official. It is corrupt. This is Michelle. To be in Abaco, it is hard, Branville McCartney, to be in Abaco. It is hard to speak. I believe the police out there now. But I gotta say what I gotta say.
Keep you out of jail. You don't like to say allegedly. I trying to keep you out of jail, allegedly.
Allegedly for people who are scared to say what they say in this country. I ain't alleged nothing. Everything I say, Jesus Christ Almighty that's on the cross and it's coming close to Easter. If I lie, I die. I can speak the truth till Jesus Christ come. I only get in trouble because I ain't alleged nothing, because I speak the truth. And the truth hurts when it's on the other feet. And when Kai says something, it is like the Bible. It is written, it is so, and it shall be so. It's like in law and biblical term. When you say Kai say something, it shall. The word shall cannot be changed. It is written and it's being spoken. Kai speaking the truth. The government is the enemy of the Bahamian. One last thing before Branville.
No.
One last thing I want to say.
We gotta Kai, we gotta take a break. Music playing. We gotta take a break. So
just getting started.
Breathe in. Deep breath in. Deep breath out.
I just have to get on the chest.
We gotta go to a break.
Okay.
On the other side, we'll hear more about the law according to Kai. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Track Life, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z Radical, Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Global 99.5 FM and Michelle Malcolm pages. Like and share the show if you haven't already done so. You can call in at 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, or WhatsApp us at 801 0271 801 0271, and that is call or text. We're also streaming live to YouTube on the official Global 99.5 FM channel and the official Michelle Malcolm channel. And last but by no means least, you can catch us on Cable Bahamas channel 974. My guests today are none other than attorney and former Junior Minister of Immigration Branville McCartney, and vocal activist out of Abaco, Kai Mills, who always keeps us abreast of what's happening on the ground in Abaco as it relates to the illegal migrant community and other issues facing his island as well. Okay, so gentlemen, before you joined us, Kai,
yes,
Branville made a statement and dropped the mic. Branville said that that he doesn't suspect, and I'm paraphrasing here, that there will be any action because it's not within the political expediency of the existing administration. They don't have the political will. It's not, wouldn't be a politically savvy move. These are all my words, paraphrasing, on their behalf. And so they're not going to act on it. This is just another excuse for them to delay this further. Now, one of the local news agencies had an opportunity to speak with a couple of the local pastors here who weighed in on the matter, sort of explaining why this process has to take the amount of time that it is. Let's check that out.
With government taking an aggressive approach to tackle the country's ongoing shantytown crisis, as the Supreme Court ruled in their favor, giving them the rights to resume demolition, while Anglican priest Archdeacon James Palacios weighs in on those appeals.
That is the legal process. Bahamians have to understand that everybody has a right to due process. Just how you would like to go to the Privy Council, lawyers for the occupants of the shanty town would like their clients to go to the Privy Council to have their matter determined as well. So we must not get ahead of the process and believe that because we make enough noise, people are supposed to just, kowtow to emotionalism.
Now, we also spoke with past president of the Bahamas Christian Council, Reverend Patrick Paul. He says that government is in a rock and a hard place. He explains why.
We're limited in our resources, and there are laws on our books. Those laws help to ensure that we have a level of civil society, and it's the government responsibility to ensure that civil society remains civil. And so it's out of that, I feel for us as a people. Secondly, I feel for the government that has to take the stand that it needs to take.
Another vexing national issue is the granting of citizenship. Palacios is calling on government to create a citizenship committee to review all applicants.
Applications are in for citizenship. They don't become so disadvantaged because they are not able to get on with their life because the government is doing due diligence, is working hard to get the matters resolved, especially matters of potential fraud. But you don't want their life to be put on hold because the process is legitimately arduous and slow.
Paul sends this message to those who are suggesting that the church has been silent on these legacy issues.
Sometimes the church wants to kind of guard themselves, but the church is the social arm, it is the salt of the earth, and it's the church's responsibility to speak on every issue, not just one issue, not just two issues, but all of the social issues in the country. It is the church's responsibility. And so I'm sure as we continue to develop and grow, we will see a greater improvement.
All right, gentlemen, we actually have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Thank you so much for taking my call. I realized you had to give Dr. Mills a prescription to calm down. It could be overwhelming, you know. It's one of those things that if you not aware of what's going on in the global arena, you may take what's going on in your local environment personal because you don't have the provisions in place to deal with what's going on locally. And I feel his passion simply because he's trying to be a religious individual or a righteous individual, whatever word he may choose, and at the same time obey the law when he sees people breaking the law and they're giving concessions for breaking the law. So the government, yes, is stuck between a rock and a hard place. The rock is the international community and the church and everything else that could be hard, and then the hard place is the Bahamian people. Michelle, what would you suggest the Bahamian government do to bring some kind of chemistry between this dilemma that we are facing and, you know, instead of the conflict that could easily be erupted as we're heading toward? I just would love to hear your opinion on chemistry to fix this and versus the actual other side of the coin, you know?
Chemistry to fix this?
Well, there has to be some kind of amalgamation of thoughts because we have some people who believe that because they're black, they have a right, because they're African, they have a right to be anywhere in the world and no one can stop them, even in spite of who, because of their color. And you have the same thing going on with the Europeans because they're conquistadors. They can come and claim your land, your property, your wife, and everything else. So it's happening. It has happened. Not only, you know, don't just look at the Haitians and the Africans. The Europeans did the same conquest and caused conflict. And here we are trying to figure out how we can get out of it because, you know, the Haitians are owed a bunch of money. And guess what? We are owed some kind of reparation. So obviously, we're suffering at a different level. And I'm wondering, what would you could suggest that we do globally to fix this?
Listen, man, this my camera just got knocked out. This whole question of acquisition of land, this has been going on from biblical days. This ain't nothing new. I just reading in the book of Joshua this morning about how when Joshua and the Israelites crossed over Jericho, and if you are familiar with the story, they had a group of kings come against them. Clearly, the kings were defeated, and then you had this group of people, the Gibeonites, who were smarter than the group of kings who came against the Israelites, and they say to them, these people got one serious God on their side. We better get smart, or we can be wiped out as well. So they came and they pretended to be visitors from afar off, just so the children of Israel could not wipe them out. So the children of Israel, from biblical days, this has been going on about claiming of territory and all that kind of stuff. So this is nothing new. But as Bahamians, living in this land, which we believe that is our birthright, we have to take a stand to protect our birthright. And, you know, all of these, my words, bleeding hearts, who come and say, oh, you know, we are all our brother's keeper, and we all come from the same place in Africa, and all us come in the same boat, and all these yada, 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 horse dead and cow fat. Bottom line is this is our birthright. Okay?
Thank you.
I can't go to no other country. I certainly can't go to Haiti.
Oh, no.
In good times or bad, and go stake claim to their land and start building and doing whatever I want to do in their land. They would lock me up quick, fast, and in a hurry. They ain't worrying about being compassionate. They ain't worrying about being humane. Why? Because I went there and I broke their laws. I don't think the majority of Bahamians have a problem with persons coming here legally, you know, doing things the right way. But when you want to come up in this country illegally, you won't have all the rights afforded to you that the Bahamians in many cases don't have. We won't have attitude like you entitled to something around here. You want disenfranchised people who have legal rights to be here. This is where many Bahamians have a problem. And you got these bleeding hearts who talking about, oh, y'all xenophobic and oh, y'all hate Haitians. Ain't nobody hate nobody. At least I think it's not a matter of hating a group of people. More so it's a matter of loving your country and not being willing to turn a blind eye for the sake of whatever reason, just to make you feel comfortable when you disenfranchising me in my own land. Something got to be wrong with that picture.
Michelle, you know what saved us? We don't even realize what has happened. You know what?
First, because they only on for a limited time.
I don't have the opportunity.
Yeah, and then you can respond, Kai. Go ahead, caller.
I was police officers came to my home, and they said that they have me with some traffic situation, and then I went to the police station, and then what I realized was that there were everybody at the station at the time were persons of Haitian Bahamian persuasion. There was no really full-blooded Bahamian there, and I was being sort of like situated where, guess what happened? This was a planned situation, and I think what Bahamians need to realize is that there are occasions when Haitians would be able to take over of the police station the way the Chinese have a police state in America, and lock you up and hide evidence, and they're doing it from that perspective as well. We need to be very careful of that, because if I had stuff on my cell phone, I'd have been in jail, because that's just trying to comply. And guess what? They were Haitians. From the sergeant straight on down to the boys who carried me in, they were all Haitians, but they spoke English. Be careful.
All right. Thank you so much for calling.
I just want to say something. Michelle, I invited you to Abaco already. Still waiting. But if you live the way I've lived for 40 years among this, you know what saved us? We had some brilliant minds that architect the Constitution of the Bahamas. What if we were just like America? Whenever you come here, you have baby, you got citizenship right away. We would already be outnumbered 10-1, the same way we in Abaco. But because we had some forefathers that foresee what was going to happen to the Bahamas, is happening into the Bahamas, that they drafted the Constitution to save us. What if, Michelle Malcolm, we were the land next to Haiti, the Dominican Republic, or wherever it is next to Haiti, that you could walk over the border? We would have been a country that Bahamian would have been extinct. You wouldn't have no Bahamians. And that is what's happening in Abaco. All what the government is trying, the Haitian is playing the fool. We got 40, 50 structures going up as we speak. When the government put the stop bill on the building, they remove it. You know what I would like to see as a Bahamian? The same aggressiveness that the government had to remove the domes, the only homes that Bahamians occupied. And guess who was running the bulldozer? Well, you all know. The Jamaican owned the bulldozer. The contract that they wanted to give to build on where they moved the Bahamians, a Haitian Bahamian was getting the contract from the government. And the Bahamians were being ousted by the bulldozer driver, who was Jamaican owner, and the Bahamian Haitian who was given the contract. Y'all don't understand what's going on here. And I was there in awe when the bulldozer bulldozed while people and women, children are running to get out of the structure. And they had our policemen there. They had our hosting official there. But Michelle, what is so egregiously wrong that the Haitians has built over 500 structures. The government, this new government, has built 6 to 8 structures that are ready to be occupied. But guess what? For the past 7 months, they have not been given the keys to anybody. What are they waiting on? Then you got 5 brand new structures that the F&M left in place. We're driving by them every day. They stop bill order on them. So the Haitian has occupied and done more for their people that the government of the Bahamas have done. Again, this is the part that's hurtful. The PLP government has built the building. For the past 6 months, the weed are now catching up. The buildings are now getting mold and mildew, but nobody can occupy these government homes that have already been built 6 months.
You brought
There's
this up.
something wrong.
So obviously we have to do some kind of investigation as to why that's happening, because you brought this up several times before on this show. So I'm thinking there must be a reason for that, and we're just not privy to what that reason is.
They don't care. That's the reason.
Well, okay. Let's get Branville back into this conversation. So Branville is saying that from a legal perspective at this point, without there being a stay of execution, which we are not aware of, one has been handed down, that there's no reason why this should not have begun already, that they should have, had boots on the ground ready to begin this demolition process. There are those who say that, this is a process that you need to take your time with it, because you have to make sure you do this in a humane way. One of those persons calling for this to be done in a humane way is a particular Haitian pastor who was interviewed by the local one of the local news agencies. Here's what he had to say on that.
Government seemingly moving with an iron fist to tackle shantytown structures and country after 260 notices have been issued to shantytown residents to appear in court for breach of the injunction. But tonight, a local church leader who has been in the Haitian community for over 30 years has one request.
Do it with compassion, do it with humanity, see the human, we're dealing with people, that we cannot just, again, even the government alluded to it, you cannot just fix a problem to create another problem. Okay, let's just say, okay, in 28 days, we're going to break all of those shanty towns. Now you have hundreds or thousands of people where they are going to live.
That's Dr. Antoine Saint-Louis, pastor of Victory Chapel, Church of the Nazarene. His comments come days after Prime Minister Philip Davis and Immigration Minister Keith Bell met with local Haitian pastors to discuss the way forward, and it appears both sides are on the same page.
We all in agreement that the shantytown is not the appropriate residence for anyone, whether it is Bahamian, Haitian, or whoever they may be. It is not healthy for their own health, and it is not a good reputation for the Bahamas.
Dr. Saint-Louis contending that Haitian church leaders are doing their part on this issue.
Our church members, we encourage them to find a home, to find an apartment.
And while local activists have argued that Haitian nationals alone face major scrutiny for residing in these communities, St. Louis says he's satisfied that government has set the record straight.
They categorize that there are three groups of people living in those shanty towns. You have Bahamian citizens, you have legal residents, and you may have illegal migrant. And to our understanding, that what they were trying to do is to deal with those citizenship, seek ways and means to assist them, and to encourage those who have legal status to find a home to live.
This comes as immigration officials have expressed concerns about shantytowns expanding across the country, while local activists have cried shame on the Davis administration for not addressing what they consider to be part of an immigration crisis. However, with a Supreme Court injunction that ordered government to cease and desist demolitions being lifted, officials assert that they will act in accordance with the law.
Okay, gentlemen. Brian, let's hear from you. Be compassionate. Give them more time. How much more time we gotta? What are your thoughts from a legal perspective? I'm from the perspective of a former minister of immigration.
These are has been said when I was there. Be compassionate. Give more time. But at the same time, when you're trying to be compassionate, they're continuing to build and act illegally. How does that add up? The bottom line is, and no disrespect to the preacher, Asian preacher, but the time has passed, man. The time has passed, long past. We will keep on hearing stuff, yes. But look here, if you come here illegally if you come here illegally, you're building and living illegally, and we must be compassionate for that. No, the time has passed. We need to act.
That time is over.
We need to act. Very long time ago. It'll get worse, and this is just more stalling actions. I understand when they talk about people having the right to go to court, and yes, but in these circumstances, you have an aspect of the court where you can act, and so you ought to act. As a matter of fact, this is very telling. If you don't act when you have an opportunity to act, knowing that you act and you don't do it, that tells me you don't want to do it. And that's how I start the show, and I maintain that. They don't want to do it, and it's not going to be done. If it were under my watch, it would have been completely different. As a matter of fact, if it were under my watch, and when the good judge gave this ruling to stay, and when I start seeing all this time passing, 4.5 years, please, I will have to deal with the law on the back end of that, because I would have dealt what I had to do for the national interest of this country, and then let me deal with the consequences of the law after that. The national security, the national interest is paramount. And as a leader, that's what you need to think about, and that's what you need to do. I would deal with it on the back. I certainly would not have waited no 4 years, judge, to make some decision on something that was so urgent. That
while they continue to build.
I am sound right to me. Please.
So I can put my little 2 cents in there.
Go ahead, guys.
I don't like that word activist. Don't call me activist. I'm a statement. I try to bring something different. I don't want that funny word, no activist, because I just speaking for my country. And what the government should have done, the ministers should have asked them same Haitian pastors how they get in the Bahamas. Are they here illegally? Are they a part of the league? See, I want to be the minister for about 2 weeks, and I'll straighten all this stuff out. No nonsense. I going there with the hammer and the nail for Bahamians, and I'm going to speak on behalf of Bahamian. When last we had people concerned about not what the Haitian want, what the Haitian think. We had 40 years of this disgusting behavior. It's overrun. The tub is running over. We don't have. God said, this is what a good pastor said, because we ain't got nobody in Abaco pastor speaking on behalf of this. The good pastor said, God give the Bahamas this land, and any other person that benefit from the Bahamas more than Bahamians, God himself is mad. And I'm mad because God is mad, because people are concerned about what the Haitian think, what the Haitian pastors think, that they ought not be in this country, because the Haitians need Jesus in Haiti. So let them Haitian pastors, all them that they met with, let them carry behind back to Haiti and preach Jesus Christ to them Haitians, to tell them to stop coming to the Bahamas, because if they come to the Bahamas, Jesus Christ is not going to accept them into heaven, because they're sinning against the country. That's what them Haitian pastors need to do. And the government needs to govern for Bahamians. They need to stop listening to Haitian pastors and need to then Haitian pastors go get rid of them over in Haiti. But what we need, Branville McCartney, is what you were doing back then, and the minister is trying to do now, but he needs all the government agencies to come together along with him. You can't have a minister pulling one way and the rest of the government pulling the other way. We need all the government to say enough is enough. It is time to govern for the Bahamian and the future of the next generation. Everywhere in Abaco, where I used to be a boy and I used to go to make $1, the Haitian got it covered. What is our young man going to do to go to try to be a young man and to earn a living?
We got to take a break, Kai. We got to take a break.
You're taking break fast.
Listen, it's done 3:29. Show almost over. And I got the sponsor keeping the show on the air.
Show me so I can tell you how Abaco feel about all this thing. I need a full hour or uninterrupted I need a whole hour to tell you what says the word of Abaconians.
Take a pen and we'll do it on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Just put two pen in it. My Lord.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
And we are back on GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here with Branville McCartney and Kai Mills. We're talking about the legal ramifications of the appeal before the Court of Appeal now as it relates to government's efforts to demolish shantytowns and how that will impact those efforts. The telephone numbers to call in case you'd like to join in on the conversation are 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, or our WhatsApp line for calls or text messages, 801-0271, 801-0271. And if you haven't already done so, like and share the page on Facebook. Let everybody know that GPS is on the air. So prior to the break, Kai said he wanted to tell us what is happening in Abaco on the ground and how Abaconians are feeling. So take it away, Kai.
Right in Abaco, we are exhausted. We're overwhelmed. We got a little break because they have some immigration activities on the ground. But like Branville said earlier, while the courts are playing around with the government and the government playing around in the courts, both of them making excuses, the Haitian, they ain't paying no mind to the government. They don't give a hell about the courts. The Haitian are building a nation right in our doorstep. God came ashore September 1st, 2019. And I myself was there when the first house was built. Letting there for them government, one there for them government. The then Prime Minister walked through the farm road. This is before they start to come to Marshall, but I've already alerted them that the Haitians not going to stay in the farm because the job market is too far for them. They're going to eventually move into the Marshall area. One thing they did good is that they fenced the mud and the peas because the Haitian would already had 500 homes right in the mud and the peas because the government has failed to govern for Bahamians. Abaconians is becoming the third-class citizen in my lifetime. And they don't care. These younger Haitians are not like the Haitians who just say, yes, sir, no, sir. These are the ones that are vindictive, abusive, and they know how to feed their way through government. I'm in the taxi business. We can't get a business license from January it's supposed to be in. But every Haitian that have a stall all along the road, they have a business license, but taxi drivers still can't get a business license from the business license office in Abaco. Something is definitely wrong with that. We are being pushed back even from getting our legal papers, and the Haitians are getting their own today, tomorrow. I tried to get car rental. They refused me car rental. We got Haitian that on the front of my shop, I got about 10 or 15 car rental. They're everywhere. And it's not the Haitian fault. It is the lawlessness of the law that don't want to take effect. Every business you go into, one time ago when I was growing up, when you speak a little bit of Creole that you know to the Haitian, they didn't want nobody to know they were Haitian. They wouldn't speak the language. But now in every business that you go to in Abaco, they are speaking loudly like they're deaf and irritating you. And they are taking over every business, speaking Creole to the top of their voice. Only thing that is saving us is the longevity that takes for them to get regularized. And the minister have to be very careful, especially in Abaco, that do not let anybody in the immigration office in Abaco renew any permit, not only Haitian. We got an escalation of Cubans. Every white person now kick all the black people of the house. They now got Filipinos. So we got an immigration from the Filipinos to the Cubans to the Haitians, and all of them are getting chosen first by these business people because they can underpay them, while Abaconians, young men, older men can't get a job. But every day, Cubans, Jamaican, Haitians, and Filipinos are on the job every day. It is out of control in Abaco, and we are like a ship without a rudder. There are members of parliament. They don't know the issue. They ain't speaking to the issues. The church is absolutely silent on every issue. We got a Christian council, but they're non-existent. You only see Patrick Paul them with them funny last name when there's something to do with the Haitian. But when it's come to do with speaking about Bahamians and what is it rightfully God given us this land, nobody officially is coming out battling for Bahamians. That is the problem. When we have a government that is governing on the best interests of other nations and care about what the world thinks about them. The reporters say the government of the Bahamas is traveling so much because the world want to hear from them. That's a lie. Stop talking fool. You got to govern here first. We can't govern here first, so where we going anywhere else? Abaco needs government. We need to hear about the issues.
Branville, let's get you in on this. You heard what Kai just had to say. Do you think that forms a part of the narrative that you are suggesting that there is no political will to deal with this issue?
I think so, very much so. Kai is very frustrated because it's the same situation that's been going on over and over and over again.
40 years.
And nothing seems to be happening. Every time you think a step is being made forward, you get kicked 2 steps back. And again, and I've said this over and repeatedly, it all boils down to political will. If the government, quite frankly, wants to rid our country of shanty towns, it can do it. It can do it. And that starts from the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, he is ultimately the head. And he determines at the end of the day whether it happens or not. Not necessarily Minister of Immigration. The Minister of Immigration may want to do certain things, but the Prime Minister says no. It's no.
Exactly.
You should know a lot about that. So when you say the Prime Minister, you're not talking specifically about...
Open that can of worm here, Michelle.
When you say the Prime Minister, you're talking about the position or the individual?
The position. And for this period, I'm talking position and individual.
Okay.
Yeah. For this period, each other.
For this period, both. And if he wants to make something happen, as Prime Minister, Philip Brave Davis can make it happen in terms of dealing with the shanty towns.
You know something, Branville? We have had 3 prime ministers before Philip Brave Davis, and neither one of those prime ministers left a legacy. We coming up on 50 years, and we can't, especially in Abaco, where we had my man Hubert Ingram there. I said, this is very interesting, Branville, that I asked the people in North Abaco, name me one thing that you could be proud of Hubert Ingram accomplishing in North Abaco. Name one person that he has made a millionaire all the years he's been in North Abaco, 35 years. You know what they said? After all them immigration custom, they gave them job. Name me one. They couldn't name one. You know what they say? The port. I say, yeah, them Chinese and you, but don't even know what's going on. That's a ghost port. Ain't been open in 20 years. 3, 4 prime minister, and the port is not officially open. It's not ironic that neither prime minister be coming up on the 50 years, and we cannot be braggadocious about nothing that they have accomplished for Bahamians, and especially Abaco. Not the one single thing we can be proud of that Hubert has accomplished. My God, from side, I feel like preaching up in here. Not one thing in my lifetime that Kai could be braggadocious about. My man, Hubert Ingram, has done to enhance the life of Abaco. The only thing that we had, Branville, was Treasury Resort. And guess what? Hubert Ingram put foot on Treasury Resort. That means for 5 years, people cannot go forward in Abaco. Nothing to be braggish about. In my years of fooling around with these guys, they have done nothing. Every resort that is built in Abaco, you know what they build them for? They build them for the white foreigners to bring their white friends to get ahead. They're getting $5,000 a week. The resort is paying for their housing. The resort is paying for their children's schooling if they have children. They have per diem. While Bahamians is getting a measly $300 a week. And we are teaching the foreigners how to govern us. It is South Africa right in my neighborhood, right as we speak. Name me one project that the government has hosted and okayed that are going to benefit the people of the Bahamas. Exoma, for example, $1 billion. Who is going to benefit from Exoma? You think that when the government sign off on these deeds, that they got Bahamians in mind? Look at who the lawyers are. who okay these properties. We can go all of us, but we cannot be bragging about 50 years and we have not accomplished, not even to get the Haitians out of our backyard. We gotta have the pastors, Haitian pastors, suggest what they should do.
Jobs,
That's all-time low.
They creating jobs. What are you talking about? All of these projects are creating jobs. Haven't you heard?
For Haitians and foreigners, and we only doing the job for 500. Which government? I asked you, but Ingram, this, Michelle. There was an educated question. Miss Ingram, you know Baker's Bay is coming along. Could you please come into the school and tell the kids what they can study? That when they come back, that we don't need these foreign people to come here, that they have a job immediately. Not only have the job, Michelle, but to get the same 5,000 and the same perks that the foreign whites getting in our town. We are ousting our country, our jobs to foreign entity. We almost better off if the UBP was in charge, because it's the black government doing it to the black people. They're bringing all whites to take over. They ain't worrying about the Haitians, you know. The Haitians is a minor thing. But in the big resort, the whites are slaving our blacks, and the black government, and guess what, Michelle? Neither one of the FNM minister could go on Baker's Bay today and have tea. They got 5 restaurants, 6 bar. No member of the last government could go on Baker's Bay. If their boat break down, they got a scholar to see they can't even go on the beach. That is what the government has done. They're being very particular in governing themselves out of these resorts, that behemoths only become slave unto the white man. The same thing that happened in South Africa. As a matter of fact, they brought a South African in to manage Baker's Bay, to teach them how to treat black people. And the black fellas there, only for 5 years, they want to get rich. But after 5 years, they can't have tea.
I don't want to digress into another show.
My God, they are hurting out. They are hurting black people. Black people in charge.
We got your point. We got your point. I don't want us to go down that road because that's another show. We talking about
immigration. Immigration led these people in to slave us.
Well, yeah, but that's
immigration gave them a $15,000 work permit, and they sent 150,000 home.
Immigration problem. That's not the aspect that we're covering today. In any event, you say we're taking commercials fast, but guess what? These commercials keeping the show on the air. So we have to take our last commercial break. And then when we come back, I'm going to play a clip from Sir Franklin Wilson.
Who that is?
You will find out on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Longevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Longevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
With 10 minutes left in the show, welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here with my guests, Branville McCartney and Kai Mills, talking about this whole shantytown issue and whether or not the ongoing matters before the court are tying the hands of the government, as they have been saying, or whether or not they can proceed, if they had the will to do so, to tear down these shantytowns that have been exploding since the initial ruling was handed down. So Sir Franklin Wilson has been in the news as of late. He's talking about the need for land reform. Here's what he had to say.
Local businessman CEO of Sunshine Holdings Limited, Franklin Wilson, calling on government today to overhaul land policies. Specifically, he wants a land registry introduced.
The first problem with land policy is proving to people you own it and protecting your ownership of the land, because people stealing it. There's something been on our books called the Quieting of Land Act as a licensed thief.
Those comments made during the opening of Business Week at the University of the Bahamas Monday morning. Wilson says the country is in a land crisis. Here's what he says can be done to alleviate the problem.
We must develop some system of land registration such that people know this is my land. It's more difficult for people to steal it.
His comments come as government begins to crack down on shantytowns across the nation following a ruling back in February which lifted a previously imposed injunction which blocked government's ability to demolish unregulated communities in New Providence and Abaco. While Wilson says he isn't attempting to strong-arm the government into the implementation of a land registry, he says he remains hopeful.
The need for land registration in the Bahamas, I think the idea has been now accepted. It's throughout the Caribbean. We need it. It's just simple as that. And so it is my hope and my prayer that that we will have land registration in my lifetime.
Okay, we only have about 7 minutes left in the show. I see Kai laughing, Branville nodding his head. Gentlemen, Branville, let's start with you. Do you think this call for a land registry will make any difference as it relates to this problem that we're discussing today?
I think so. I mean, it would certainly help, especially not only with the illegal immigration problem in shanty towns, but certainly for Bahamians and those who have a right to live here, for the identity of their property. Mm-hmm. Mr. Wilson indicated something, that there's something called the Quieting of Lands Act, which is an act that technically allows someone else to steal your property. That ought to be well, and I've said that for many years. But so I totally agree with Mr. Wilson 100% with his pronouncements with regards to the land registration. That would be most beneficial for all Bahamians, all landowners, all legal landowners in the country.
Okay, Kai, let's get you in on this. What are your thoughts?
I totally I'm in agreement with that. Especially one thing he said there, that the quieting of your land. We got over 3,500 lawyers in this country, and you ask either of them if they agree with the Quieting Land Act, and they'll say no, they don't agree with that. That's stealing of people's land. But All these years they've been on the bench, nobody has moved to remove that off the books, and that is one of the most deadliest things to come to find out that somebody just through the law went and take your property and the things that are benefiting Bahamians. Only one thing we are going forward in this country and doing is just bringing a bunch of these resorts in, but we're not making sure that we have qualified people to do so. Michelle, I'm saddened because with 300 people of my township has moved to Canada, and the ones that are not here, that are spread all over the Bahamas, they decide they're not even coming back here because of the legal problem we get. And that hurts me as a Bahamian to see my people go to another country and while not to come back because the government don't want to govern on behalf of them. I get all teared up when I ask, well, where this one is? They're in Canada, they're this place. I call them, but what's going on? When are you coming back? I will never come back. This place is not for Bahamian. That is the sad part about being an Abaconian. I'm in this by myself because the one that had a chance to speak up and do something, to go to the polls, they're gone. And they're never coming back. And the ones that are here, they are afraid to speak out because we're being threatened every day. I'm being threatened by Haitians every day. I have to be in the house like a rooster at sunset because my life is threatened just because I speak out. And the people that's supposed to protect my civil liberty, the policemen, they're the most deadliest people out there to me because they have a gun and they're like James Bond. They got a right to kill. If they shoot me, they could throw a gun there. My life doesn't mean much in Abaco. I don't know how y'all is in Nassau, if y'all ever got locked up for speaking truth, but it is heartbreaking for Kai Mills to go and see the stuff that I know and the stuff I see. It makes me sometimes sleepless nights, but I've learned how to leave it on the porch. I don't bring it in the bed. But what is happening to Abaco and Abaconian? No other country, no other island deserve this lack of respect, this lack of lawness, this lack of nobody is saying what is priority. Michelle, we just got water officially last week, 5 days in a row for the first time since September 1st, 2019. We had water. I could shower 5 days in a row. Yippee! Didn't even think about giving us water on a weekly basis. It is hard. The hurricane lasted 24 hours, but the bad government continues in Abaco. We are officially a people that has been crushed by the weight of non-government. Illegal Haitian is taking over my birthplace, and the people that the immigration want to do something, the fence force want to do something, but Branville McCartney hit the nail right on the head, knocked the hair off the neck. The Prime Minister has to be on board with the Minister of Immigration, and the Prime Minister has to speak without fear or favor. Enough is enough. I am governing for the people of Abaco. I am government for the future of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Until we have that, forget celebrating 50 years. I don't want to see no flag. I don't want to see no celebration.
Let's give Brown the final 30 seconds now. We got 2 minutes left in the show. I give you 1 minute, Brown.
Well,
thoughts.
I did say at the beginning of the show that the government, I believe, don't have the political will to deal with this illegal immigration problem. I just hope that they would have a change of mindset in that regard for the benefit of this country. We certainly cannot continue to go on in Spain. It is eating up all of our resources, being very unfair to the Bahamian people and to have a right to live here legally. And we just hope that good governance would prevail, that the Prime Minister would do what is necessary and what is in the best interest of this nation to deal with this illegal problem, particularly the shanty towns.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you both for the time that you would have spent here with me this afternoon. We gotta go tomorrow, though. Oh boy, don't miss tomorrow's show. It's a Wellness Wednesday, but it's going to be a bit different because I'm going to be talking to a doctor tomorrow who is going to bring some information that you may be very shocked to learn in terms of the link between illegal migrant communities and certain chronic diseases that we now see popping up in the country. Yeah, this can get serious. Until then,
Rich water system.
I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you
Thank
guys
you.
tomorrow right here, same time, same place.
Blessings.
Global 99.5 FM. Remind